Hello, this is part 2 of the 20-minute interview between President Barak Hussein Obama and Charlie Sheen. President Obama is abbreviated PBO, Charlie Sheen is abbreviated CS. To continue. PBO. Mistakes were clearly made, but we as a people and as a country need to move forward. It is obviously in our best interest as a democratic society to focus our efforts and our resources on the future of this great nation and our ability to protect the American people and our allies from this type of terrorism in the coming years. CS. Sir, how can we focus on the future when the Commission itself is on record stating that they still do not know the truth? PBO. Even if what you state might in some capacity begin to approach an open discussion or balanced debate, I can't speak for or about the decisions certain Commission members made during an extremely difficult period. Perhaps you should be interviewing them instead of me. Wait, don't tell me. I was easier to track down than they were. CS. Not exactly, sir, but let's be honest. You're the President of the United States, leader of the free world. The buck stops with you. 9/11 has been the pretext for the systematic dismantling of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. Your administration is reading from the same playbook that the Bush administration foisted on America through documented secrecy and deception. PBO. Mr. Sheen, I'm having a difficult time sitting here and listening to you draw distorted parallels between the Bush-Cheney regime and mine. CS. Mr. President, the parallels are not distorted just because you say they are. Let's stick to the facts. You promised to abolish the Patriot Act and then voted to reauthorize it. You pledged to end warrantless wiretapping against the American people and now energetically defend it. You decried the practice of rendition and now continue it. You promised over and over again on the campaign trail that you would end the practice of indefinite detention, and instead you have expanded it to permanent detention of detainees without trial. This far exceeds the outrages of the former administration. Call me crazy, Mr. President, but is this not your record? PBO. Mr. Sheen, my staff and I authorized this interview based on your request to discuss 9/11 and deliver some additional information you're convinced I'd not previously reviewed. Call me crazy, but it appears as though you've blindly wandered off topic. CS. Sir, the examples I just illustrated are a direct result of 9/11. PBO. And I'm telling you that we must move forward. We must endure through these dangerous and politically challenging years ahead. CS. Mr. President, we cannot move forward with a bottomless warren of unanswered questions surrounding that day and its aftermath. PBO. I read the official report, every word, every page. Perhaps you should do the same. CS. I have, sir, and so have thousands of family members of the victims. And guess what? They have the same questions I do, and probably a lot more. I didn't lose a loved one on that horrific day, Mr. President, and neither did you. But since then, I, along with millions of other Americans, lost something we held true and dear for most of our lives in this great country of ours. We lost our hope. PBO. And I'd like to believe that I am here to restore that hope, to restore confidence in your leaders, in the system that the voting public chose through a peaceful transfer of power. An odd moment of silence between us, precious time ticking away. CS. Mr. President, are you aware of the number of days it took to begin the investigation into JFK's assassination? PBO. If memory serves, I believe it was 2 weeks. CS. Close. 17 days to be exact. Are you aware, sir, how long it took to begin the investigation into Pearl Harbor? PBO. I would say again about 2 weeks. CS. Close again, sir. 11 days to be exact. Are you aware, Mr. President, how long it took to begin the investigation into 9/11, September 11th? PBO. I know it must have seemed like a very long time for all the grieving families. CS. It was a very long time, Mr. President. 540 days. Roughly 14 months. Does it bother you, Mr. President, that it only took 5 hours for Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld after the initial attack to recommend and endorse a full-scale offensive against Iraq? PBO. I am not aware of any such purported claim. I have the proof, Mr. President, along with scores of documents and facts I'd like you to take a look at. Here. I hand him another file, much thicker than the first. PBO. I see you came prepared, Charlie. CS. No other way to show up, Mr. President. When in doubt, over-prepare, I always say. PBO. Now you sound like the First Lady. CS. That's quite a compliment, sir. PBO. As you wish. Please continue. I will stop this video here and continue on with part 3.